What's up, guys? It's Missy who's losing her voice. Okay. Anyway, so SimCity Buildit video, high-level CoM player, Maple. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I have not looked at these choices yet, so they are as new to me as they are to you. So let's go ahead and get started. I would really appreciate it if this player would do a task assessment. It would kind of help me know that he understands like the difference between a main task, a non-premium task, and so forth. But because he did not do one, let's go ahead and quickly do one together. So the streaks task is a non-premium Paris, which we would mark with NP for non-premium and leave it pretty much as that. It's a rotatable option, so we could mark it with an R on the other side. The next one is a main task. It gets marked with an M. It is a main task because it is worth 2,000 points or higher. And it is a premium task because it can be worth up to 3,000 points. So a non-premium task is a task that cannot be worth 3,000. A premium means it can be. Okay, a rotatable task is a task that is below 2,000 points and is used to rotate to bring in more main tasks. Now we have another premium main task, so we would mark it with a P and then an M. We have another premium, well actually technically it's a non-premium for a high-level player because it cannot be worth 3,000 points. So a non-premium main task is the saps. Now we have a premium cactus coins task. Okay. Now this player has more than one regional map unlocked, so he doesn't have to be as strict with the regional HQ assignment, but he does need to be careful of, you know, how many HQs he opens and, you know, how many regional items he has to make sales. Now, another thing that this player does is he does not, for whatever reason, his stuff is like blacked out on his screenshots. So I can't see like what level he is to know, you know, how many factory slots he has. I can't see like, what was I going to say? I was going to say something else. Can't remember what I was going to say. It had to do with the coin, so. Anyway, I'll think of it and then I'll let you guys know. So, that being said, let's go. Okay, so the next thing he has here is the coins task, which is a last resort rotatable option. Now, as a high-level player, you almost never have to do this task. So, actually, I would probably mark this no touch. Because you have to think, what would be going on in your list that would be so bad to where you would have to reach for the coins? You know, you guys can do upgrades, so it doesn't make sense to, you know, to do that. So then we've got an upgrade hotspot for 1100. Now, this task has a very low algorithm rate. It's at its maximum value. It's only got one value. That being said, it is a really good option to open up something good. Okay, so it does have priority. Now we've got a non-premium minerals task. Now, 1,000 points, it probably won't get done, honestly. Then we've got a upgrade cactus, which is a premium. So that one will be one of the first to rotate. Then we've got an upgrade omega, which will be the first to rotate when all main tasks are gone, because omega has the highest algorithm. We have a 1,000 monster that gets marked no touch. We never do that unless it's 2,000 points or higher, as it has an extremely high algorithm rate. Now we have a 1,000 VU, which is a premium option at 1,000 points. So we have 1, 2, 3 of our premiums are in our list at low value. That being said, once all main tasks are gone, we're going to move to rotate those first before we rotate anything like 1,200 or 1,400 if it's a non-premium. Okay? So, the first choice would be either the upgrade war card or the delivery to Tokyo. Now, probably the upgrade war card because it's quicker, right? Get it done, get it out of the way. Okay, now we have a delivery to Tokyo. So that's the next obvious choice. What we do need to pay attention to is the fact that we got a 600 cargo here, which is not really a good sign considering, you know, it's so low value, but let's proceed. So he does that and he gets a 1,600 repair. Now this value for a high-level player, we usually don't do this at this value. Moving down to our next highest main task, we have the saps. So that would be the next choice. Now we get a 1600 common attack. Now that's a non-premium task. It's limited time, and we have better options here. So the next choice would be those coins. Now we've done all of the main tasks, but now we have this situation where we got another main task in return, which was the keys. So now what we need to do is we need to evaluate our options here. So the very first thing that he actually should have done was rotated the Omega upgrade. The Omega upgrade is one of the best premiums to rotate, as it has a high algorithm rate, and it usually comes in worth 3,000 points. Now, he can either do the keys, but actually I wouldn't do the keys because he has so many other premiums that can't come in. And if they can't come in, then we don't want to dilly-dally with things like a 2,000 keys right now with all of these possibilities blocked off, okay? So the first thing we would do is we would rotate the Omega. I would not have rotated VU yet. So he rotates VU and he gets a 2300 on Cactus. So this will be the second time that he's had to do this assignment in just a short period of time. So that's obviously the next choice, right? Now he gets VU for 3,000. So that's obviously the next choice. He gets the delivery to London for 3,000. Okay, delivery to Tokyo for 3,000. Now he gets a delivery to London for 2,000. Now these are both at main task value, okay? So now he reaches down to do the Omega. Now, that's okay, given the fact that he still has so many low premiums in his list. But let's say that he didn't have as many. Let's say he only had like one low premium in the list and it wasn't Omega. I would have went with the London. But under these circumstances, this was correct. So he does that, and he gets a Neo-Simoleons for 1560. Now, this task is kind of a hit and miss. It's non-premium, and it either comes back like constantly or it doesn't come back at all. So right now, we're going to totally ignore it. Now, he has, I think, one or two more premiums down there at the lower part of his list. It would be really nice if he would, you know, put that there. So actually, I probably would have rotated that Cactus first before rotating this London. So he does that. He gets a 1960 on sugar, and then he does the Cactus, okay, and he gets a 1920 on planks, okay. So he sacrifices the 80 points difference to open up better opportunity, which is correct. Okay, now he gets a delivery to London for 3,000. Now he gets an Epic for 2,000, Omega for 2,000, Cactus for 2,400, Nails for 2,100, Omega for 2,000, Lunch VU for 2. Okay, now he gets a 1680 on the microwave. So here actually is where he makes another mistake. So under these circumstances, we want to open up that main task value. Getting those keys opened up now that we've rotated all of our low premiums, we would not rotate a lower non-premium, okay? We would rotate the keys under these circumstances. So that was another mistake. So he does that, he gets his VU, and now he gets glass. Now he rotates the keys, okay? He gets Old Town Home for 2,400, word delivery. Now he gets a 16 on plastic. So he really should get the microwaves done, okay? London, Epic, Latin, Omega, 3,000 war card, 1,600 on waves. Okay, now he's got sugar for 19, glass for 19, and text for 19. Glass takes like 5 hours or something, sugar takes like 4, and text takes 3. So obviously he's going to do textiles. But Okay, so he does text. He gets a 1600 regular residential, which is a non-premium task, and he does the glass. Now, that's fine because of the amount of time he has remaining. He is really close to streaks, so it's kind of a gamble. But he did have a lot of his 2,000 point tasks taken up, and he has a lot of time left, so it's actually okay. Now, given the fact that he's a high-level player, and he should have plenty of factory slots remaining, you have to look at it like this, okay? He can either do the sugar with the higher chance of it coming back, or he can do the glass with a lesser chance of it coming back. But it takes a little bit more time. I would have went with the glass, okay? So, and he did. Now he's got limestone. Now he's got London for 2, limestone for 3, 3,600 on Old Town, 1,800 on limestone. Now we've got this situation here where he does the 1,500 on Neo-Simoleons. Now, he was getting good tasks for this, you know. I would have just kept it going, honestly. I would have done the bricks. It was a good place value. So he got the Latin. Now he's got the 21 on shovels, 2,000 on the epic, but he starts streaks, okay. So he starts the streaks, he gets fridges, ooh, ouch. Now he gets a 3,000 Omega, 3,000 Tokyo, 3,000 Disaster, 2,000 Cactus, 3,000 Tokyo, 2,000 London, 3,600 Latin, 3,000 London, 2,000 Cactus, 2,250 on Export HQ. Good thing he left one of those available. 2,900 on electrical. Ouch, but hey, you know what? He's got plenty of time left, and that's exactly why we do this, so that when these situations occur, he can do things like this. 3,000 on London, 1,500 on Seeds, 2,000 Cactus, 2,000 Paris, 2,000 Tokyo, 2,000 Lime, 2,000 Omega, 2,000 London, 1,920 on Planks, the Neo-Simoleons for 16, and now he's got almost 200,000 points. My guess is his leaderboard is probably just calling him a hacker. And he's going to save some tickets if he can, which would be a good option. Another good thing, if I could see his screen, and if he would post some of his leaderboard, you know, stats, that would be nice as well. So I could see, like, what his leaderboard looks like. I could see what level he is. I could see how many tickets he has left. You know, those kinds of things. So, but here's the thing, okay? So, and I just want to make this point to you guys because I do these walkthroughs so much. What is the one thing that you guys are noticing, or that you should have noticed, because I've pointed it out a couple of times now? One of the things that you should have picked up on is that when you look at his list here, okay, look at the stuff that we crossed off very early on in the list. Now, at the very beginning of the contest, we had that VU, we had the regional upgrade, we had the Omega upgrade, and we had, I believe it was like a low delivery or something. So those tasks were there at 1,000 points. The very first thing that we did after the main tasks were gone was rotated the low premiums. Now, what ended up happening throughout the contest? We got some randoms, and we worked through them, right? But what ultimately came up multiple times? How many 3,000 point tasks did you see? Why do you think that is? Because you rotated those low premiums. How many times did you see Omega for 3,000? How many times did you see VU or War Card upgrade or delivery or whatever? Now, let's say that we were to go back and we were to rotate the things like the 1,600 keys when we could have done the 1,000 VU. Because that's what a lot of people do. They do things like that because it's 600 points more. And then that possibility of that VU coming in never gets done, right? Do you know how many players leave those 1,000 point premiums to sit? And then it's not until their average drops, they do terribly. And they're like, I haven't had VU this whole time. And I'm like, well, duh, you're not going to. Not with it sitting there at that value already. I mean, you only get one. And they're like, oh. And then they do that 1,000 point task, and it results into a 3,000 point in return, and they're like, well, why is it that when I do a 1,000 point task, I get a 3,001 in return? Well, usually that's the game leveling you out, but most 1,000 point tasks are premiums, right? Most non-premium tasks are valued between 12 and 1,600 points. If you look here, the repair and the keys, the bricks, the epics, those are never really 1,000 points, right? I mean, those are all 1,200 points and up. So it kind of tricks you in a way so that you're like, oh, but I get 200 more points or I get 400 more points or whatever. But do you really want those 400 more points now to ultimately have more garbage assignments come in? Look at this. 2,000, 2,000, 2,000, 2,000, 2,000, 2,000, 1,500. Okay, non-premium. 3,000. Almost 3,000. 2,200. 2,000. 3,000. 3,600. 2,000. 3,000. 2,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 2,300. 800 was his starting task on his streak. Now we've got 2,100. 3,600. The non-premium. 1,800. 3,600. I mean, look at that. 3,000, 2,000, 2,600. So when you start to really notice these patterns, you have to look at, you do your main tasks, then you rotate your low premiums first. Then when the low premiums are gone, if they don't bring in more main tasks, then you result in your best non-premium option with the lowest algorithm rate. You want the non-premium option that isn't going to come right back. So for instance, in this situation, okay? Of all of these non-premium options that we had available, which one has the less likelihood of returning? That's what you want to go for, right? Now, I would have went with the bricks just because the place value was good. But it wasn't necessarily wrong to do the neo-simoleons, okay? 2,160 on shovels makes that a main task. Now, why would we start an epic project right before the streaks? We wouldn't. We would not want to open up that can of worms, right? So it was best to actually leave that sit, okay? Because if it would have come back, we would have had nothing but problems. Now, look at this, okay? Look at the fact that he has 97,000 points. And he ended with almost 200,000 points. Think about that, okay? 6 streaks in total times 8,000 bonus points. That's 48,000 points right there. So we know that if we can finish all 6 streaks, that we're going to hit at a minimum about 150,000. Now we just need to fill in all 4 of those assignments between the streaks. Now, even if all 4 assignments per streak were 1,000 points, we're still going to hit a really good score, right? So, really, he didn't even need to use his tickets because he did so well. Now, a lot of people will be like, oh my God, you're hacked. No, you just follow the pattern. You follow the formula. Main tasks, low premiums, high non-premiums with low algorithm. That's your rotation method, okay? Follow that and you'll do great.